citizens. Just this morning, in the red light area, it was basically a no-go zone. That is because the court of the land has said X. And a group of citizens said, no, to hell with the court. We want Y. And what that led to? Complete chaos. Anybody, those of you, I'm sure some of you go follow, if you didn't go there, nobody sees that happening in a country and want to come there. No. For tourism to be enhanced, you want tourists to come. They will not come when you wake up one morning, all you see in the country is a group of people challenging basically the execution of the law. The court has said, you must be evicted from here, the property belongs to somebody else. And a group of persons know it's not going to happen. And interestingly, they were throwing things, petrol bombs, on police officers. Nobody hearing, nobody crying. But when the police acts and do so decisively, and they will come whining about police brutality. So we've got to determine ourselves what kind of country we want. A lawless country where instructions or rulings from the court are not respected, where a group of men will behave as thugs and gangsters and hoodlums. If that's the country you want, be rest assured that that's not the country the government wants. And that's not the kind of country many of our citizens are interested in having. So as a government, we're going to be very decisive in handling people who got these kinds of orientation. I mean, do we forget so easily? Decades of war, 250,000 souls perished. And yet vestiges of the war are still around and trying to make the nation to look chaotic and ungovernable. Those kinds of actions are unacceptable, and the government will be very decisive in dealing with them. We commend the police and some citizens, because I watched the entire episode. There were citizens who saw what the police were going through and stood up. They were some kind of symbols of resistance. To say, look, what you're doing is unacceptable. And it's not going to happen yet. No small group of people will turn our country into what it's not supposed to be. If the court has taken an action, what is your authority to resist? From where? And yet, when nothing happens in the country, everybody cry. But you create the very condition that will make things not to happen. Unacceptable. While we have these gangsters and hoodlums doing what they want to do, then we have the other group that will cry and decry and say everything negative about any good thing that happened in the country. When it was announced that as a country we passed the scorecard for this year with regards to the MCC, I have seen some of the comments, some of the publications, some of the writings. And I'm here thinking, who are these people? What do they want for our country? And some who were here just yesterday. And if they don't, well, the MCC would have gotten compared to ever since. Millions of dollars to invest in roads, electricity, etc. They don't do it. They come running, reminding us that they passed 14 of the schools during the time, and then the other government get 12% already. You got your 14, where's the compact? Why are 14 supposed to carry? If that's true, I don't want to even debate whether it was true or false. The entire MCC project means nothing if you don't get to the point of compact. Who brought compact here before? Ellen Johnson Stadium, Joseph Parker. When did that give Liberia 257 million And we said with some arrogance that we're very convinced that we're going for Compact 2. And so qualified as we see from the MCT scorecard, it's just an affirmation that we're one step closer to getting the Compact. What does it mean for the country? Depending on the amount, roads, electricity, our hospitals, etc. And that is supposed to be making some people angry. Alright, we won't get Compact. What does it do for you? Trust what the governors of today are doing. Many of you passed around here after we were deemed eligible for Compact, that you are happy. Because people are coming to you, there's a new regime in America that believes in America first, and we should just forget about all this. Oh yes, you said you get Compact from where? Haven't you seen how we've been engaged with the American government? Who amongst you imagine that one of the first group of people the American president would have met would be President Waka? How many of you here will believe that Foreign Minister Sarah Besto Nyanti will be taken in the White House by Marco Rubio for them to have a meeting in the White House? None of you believe that, and you think it's happening by magic? That's leadership. That's all you see. Leadership, something that was absent here in the last 6 years. And you want to jump and cherish spot to celebrate it, then keep quiet. Don't vent or hate and anger when you see progress being made. What coming from the airport yesterday, Pastor Orlando guy, and we're discussing, impressed that true to the power of the LBC, the plenty of the poor are always have been completed. So that when you drive for the airport, that time you enter this country coming to Monrovia, you're not like that corridor anymore. I wish in my community. The last time I came, they've done some street lights all over the place. I don't know somebody doing best of while, but I came, they doubled the amount of street lights that were there. So that place that was perpetually dark, Councilor Philip can make a simple place. He can give your testimony. The whole G4 community. The amount of street lights that were erected before I came, just a short time we stayed so that came by that changed. It is a sign that the country is on the move. And if these things are making you angry, my kind advice to you is not to do it, because anger can cause another issue, including medical problems. You could have heart attack even if you're dedicating all your time to be angry about the progress of the country. When I was reading through the MCT scorecard, one of the things I'm happy about is that I am heading a sector that scored the highest mark. And that's contrary to all that people do every day. They minister and solve somebody. They go to a little press freedom on thread, press freedom on this. The highest score on the MCT scorecard is press freedom. So this country is on a move. Join us and make real progress. Start undermining the progress of the place you call your own. We all can travel all over the place. For the last 6 years when we had administration, I didn't see this place to be a place to be. Because I didn't want to enter the battle against why I others. But deep down in my heart, I was the way I always wanted to be here. That's why immediately we put it out and back. There's nowhere at home. So it doesn't matter where you are, whether you live in Europe, you live in America, you live where. Wish your country well. Be a part of the process to make it well. So too many things went wrong the last time I was trying to correct. When you build roads in the country, you maintain them. Carwell Road already, best road that Ellen Johnson celebrated, and we celebrated it. How many of you passed that road in the last few years? Disaster. What is the current government doing? They've uprooted all the quota. Instead of repairing the road, they're rebuilding the road. So, I just wanted to make this point because the speaker for today is Daniel Sabo, even here just coming. I highly doubt most of the things are coming, but I wanted to make this point so real. And if there's anyone among you who been doubting that by December when the board meets, that Liberia will be qualified for compact and will get some millions to spend on our country's development, change that mindset, because it will happen.